I'm going to talk about the price of reloading your ammo and just want to talk about, is it worth it to reload your ammunition? After you buy all of your equipment, the press, your dies and everything, you start buying the components to start your reloading, and that's primers, your projectiles, and your powder. Most of the time, most people will just collect their own brass, so we're not going to talk about your brass. That would be your free brass. But your primers, just say a box of primers, it's going to cost you $10 for 100. It'll be $20 for 200 primers. Your projectiles would normally cost around $45, $35. So we're just going to say this is $40 for 250 bullets. Your powder is going to cost you around $38 to $60, depending on the powder that you get. This powder runs around $38, so most of the time your pistol powder would be just at $40. So after you buy your primers, your bullets, and your powder, you run through everything and you're stuck with powder. With this powder, 1 pound would get you 7,000 grains. And depending on the bullet that you're reloading, you kind of divide your 7,000 by the number of grains you're going to use. Most of the pistol grains that I'm using is between 5 and 9. So we're just going to go with your 6 grains or your 5 grains of ammunition, powder, which will give you close to, well, you're going to get over 1,000 rounds regardless with that. But after you use, well, you're going to keep this, but you would have to collect your brass, buy more projectiles and primers, and that would be your money spent on your next round. So we're going to talk about 2 boxes of primers and 250 rounds. So we're going to go with 200 rounds of ammunition that you're going to reload. This would be right at $60, 40 and 20. Every time you want to reload, it's going to cost you $60 to do your ammunition. So we're going to keep that base at $60. This is your 9mm. You can get 9mm pretty cheap now. And just say if you bought some Winchester, Winchester white box, 200 rounds, that's going to be $56 for 200 rounds of Winchester in the white box, 115 grain. You would do better buying ammo for that round, because you would spend $60 on your primers and your bullets. $58 get you 200 rounds. $56. You can go to any website and check your sports stores, and you will get that information I was just telling you about. My information is based on Sportsman Warehouse. That's where I go a lot. So offhand, if your box of ammunition, a box of 50, is under $13, you would do better purchasing the bullet as opposed to trying to reload them. It's just cheaper. The reloading comes when you get into your other bullets. I just picked that one bullet, but let's talk about the other 9mm. Don't forget, we're going to base everything on 60 and 200 rounds. If you get Blazer 9mm, a box of Blazer 115 grains would be $13.99. That would cost you $55.96 for 200 rounds. You would do better buying the bullets. A box of Federal 9mm, 115 grain, is $21.99. That would be $87.96 for a box of 20 Federal bullets. Federal American Eagle 70 grain would be $28.99 for a box of 50. That would be $115.96 for 200 bullets. CCI 147 grains would cost you $31.99 for a box of 50. 4 boxes would be $127.96. Spear Lawman, the 115 grain, would cost you $20.99 for a box of 50. That's $83.96 for 200 rounds. The Millie Subsonic 155 grains, 115 grains, would cost you $46.99 for a box of 50. That's $187.96 for 200. Federal Law 100 grain bullet would be $39.99 for a box of 50. That's $159.96 for 200. So when you get into your higher bullets, well, bullets that cost a little more, that's where your savings is going to come in. So basically, it depends on which bullet you buy or which brand you buy that would cost. This is where the reloading pays off, and that's with your 40 calibers, your 45s, your 38s, your 357s, and your 44 Magnums. These are where you would save your money reloading. Let's talk about that 40 Smith & Wesson. The 40 Smith & Wesson, we're going to keep everything at that $60 a round. Federal Eagle, the 155 grain, would cost you $29.99 for a box of 50. It's $119.96 for 200 rounds. Blazer 180 grain would be $28.99 for a box of 50. It's $115.96 for 4 rounds. Sailor and Ballot 180 grain, $28.99 for a box of 50. That's again $115.99. The Remington range ammunition, 180 grain. It's $33.99. That would come out to be $135.96 for 200 rounds. The PMC, 165 grain, $24.99. It's $99.96 for 200 rounds. The Spear Lawman, 125 grain, would be $49.99 for a box of 50. It's $199.99 for 200 rounds. Federal, the law enforcement, 125 grain. It's $47.99 for a box of 50. It's $191.96 for 200 rounds. So this right here, that 40, would pay off to reload your ammunition. Let's pick another round. At 38. 38 special. Everybody loves a 38. That 38 special right there. The 38 special. The HMS that you get at Sportsman Warehouse. 158 grain. It's $30.99 for a box of 50. It's $123.99 for 200. You're already saving. Fiocchi, 148 grain. $35.99 for a box of 50. It's $143.99 for 200. The MagTech, that Fiocchi would be 158 grain. I don't know why I said 148. That MagTech, the training bullets, 158 grains. That would be $41.99 for a box of 50. It's $167.96 for 200 rounds. The CCI Blazer, 125 grain. I like the 125 grains. It's $32.99 for a box of 50. It's $131.96. The Remington UMC, I like those too. 130 grain. It's $34.99 for a box of 50. It's $139.96 for 200 rounds. The Winchester Plus P, I like those. 125 grain. It's $36.99 for a box of 50. It's $147.96 for 200. The Federal American Eagle, 158 grain. $33.99 for a box. $135.96 for 200. So you're gonna have big savings with your 38s. Let's look at that 45. That's the 45. Sometime I like the 45, sometime I don't. It all depends. But let's talk about that 45. It works too. Don't forget, we're talking $60 on your components. That 45, the Remington UMC 230 grain bullet would be $33.99. That's for a box. 200 of those would be $135.96. The CCI, the Blazer 230 grain bullet, it's $54.99 for a box of 50. It's $219.96 for 200. Federal American Eagle 230 grain, $33.99 for a box. $135.96 for 200 rounds. That's 4 boxes. The Winchester 230 grain bullet. It's $26.99 for a box. It's $107.96 for 200. That's 4 boxes. Fiocchi. That's the defense. Fiocchi defense. 230 grain bullet costs you $39.99 for a box of 50. It's $159.96 for 200. So with that 45, you're definitely gonna save reloading. Let's look at some of the big boys now. I'm gonna look at that 357 Magnum. It's one of the Thundercrackers. At 357, 158 grain by HSM, it'll be $37.99 for a box of 50. That's that one right there. That'll be $151.96 for 4 boxes. Really saving. Selling Bellet. 158 grain bullet. That's $43.99 for a box of 50. It's $175.96 for 200. The Remington UMC 125 grain. One of my favorites. $47.99. It's $197.96 for a box of 50. Well, for 200. The Gula. It's the AGULIA. 158 grain. I do like that one. It's $34.99 for a box of 50. It's $139.96 for 200. Federal American. That's the red and black box. The American Eagle. 158 grain bullet. Costs you $38.99 for a box of 50. It's $155.96 for 200. Winchester 110. That's a big one. I mean, that bullet moves fast now. That's a good one too. $63.99 for a box of 50. $255.96 if you bought 4 of those boxes. So it definitely pays off to reload 357 Magnums. Here's another Thundercracker. There's your 44 Magnum. And you really save money if you're reloading with those. The CCI Blazer 44 Magnum 240 grain bullet is $66.99 for a box of 50. You're already over the $60 mark for 1 box. 4 boxes would be $267.96. The Grizzly 44 is 200 grain. $60.99 for a box of 50. So $243.96 for 200 bullets. Fiocchi, that's their defense round, 200 grain. $61.99 for a box of 50. It's $247.96 for 200. So when you're looking at your reloading prices, your components, and trying to purchase the bullets, and you're wondering, is it worth it to reload? You just remember which cartridge that you're using. This one, yeah, you might can save a couple of dollars buying a box. But the other ones, you're definitely gonna save money reloading. So that answers the question. Check out your prices at those stores, and you know what's going on after you purchase all your equipment to reload, and you start buying your bullets and your components. You start asking that question. Before this video ends, rifle rounds is just no question. It's definitely better to reload your rifle rounds. It's just cheaper. No question about it. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, and come and check out some more of those videos I'm going to be posting. Thanks for watching.